The MU would send a guy down to the studio and watch you re-record the single. And most times, what would happen would be, you'd do a rough approximation of your single, and in the control room there'd be two tape decks set up, one of which actually had the single on it, and the other had what you were recording at the time. And the engineer would flip between the two as they were listening to it. The guy from the Musicians Union wasn't paying attention anyway. 9 times out of 10, you'd take him over the pub and just give him the fucking single on a tape at the end of it, and that's what you mind to. But this was something the BBC were very hot on. And we turned up when we released Nobody's Hero and Tin Soldiers as a double A side. We'd recorded Tin Soldiers to sing on Top of the Pops. And we did the whole pantomime with the Musicians Union. We swapped the tape. We gave him the single. Bear in mind, like I said, the BBC were very, very hot on this. If you didn't do this, you weren't getting on the show. So we turned up on the afternoon of the taping, the early evening of the taping of Top of the Pops, and we mimed Tin Soldiers, and they went, stop. And they asked for a copy of the lyrics to be sent to the control room. So we sent them a copy of the lyrics up to the control room, and they came back down and said, no, you can't play that on the BBC. We said, well, why not? And they said, well, we've just read the lyrics and said, this will stop young people joining the armed forces. We went, that's the whole fucking point. That's the whole And but of course now they're taping the show and they're 3 minutes late. So they said, oh, your record's a double A side, isn't it? Well, we'll just play the other side. And we were like, but we can't go in and re-record it. They went, oh, that doesn't matter. So the whole thing just got pushed out. They just blew the whole thing out of the water simply because they didn't want us going on Top of the Pops and basically saying to the youth of the nation, if you join the army, you might get fucking killed.